Hello, Internet. Gino, that Pinguino Greco here again with another episode of Deep Listens. And today it's another round of amateur hour because the NFL playoffs are upon us, which means we are here to give you only the hottest of takes on what will happen in the football playoffs. And joining me, as always, American football playoffs, by the way. Joining me, as always, is one Adam Borgmaster Redacted. How you doing?
I'm doing fine. I've just come off the IR list. I should be good to go for this podcast.
Excellent. We are also joined, as always, by Tyler Grav Redacted, the other redacted brother. How are you doing?
I'm doing well, Gino, and I'm about to go on the IR.
Oh, good for. Are you okay?
That remains to be seen.
I mean, not after I get at him.
Well, for those who are not aware, the NFL season has ended. The playoff brackets are set. We're for this episode going to go through the playoff matchups, make our predictions about who wins what matchups and subsequent matchups, all the way up to the Super Bowl, and then we will not have episodes until the Super Bowl. We will decide and discuss who will win that game, the last game of the season. Our normal plugs, you can get in touch with the show, deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. That is our email address. You can also support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens, which will get you access to our Discord. It would also, at the $3 OG Soncast tier, get you access to the OG Soncast, the anime podcast that is hosted by Braden and ZP from the Off the Deep End show and Pete from the main show. And it also helps you tick up our number of subscribers towards the horrible Duke Nukem Forever for the main show. And then, it's not Bahamut Lagoon. Do you remember what the Off the Deep End bad game is?
They never told me. But Bahamut Lagoon sounds about right.
Is it Bahamut Lagoon? I think it's Bahamut Lagoon. It's a bad game. That's what I remember.
Oh, Duke Nukem for the main pod. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, so we are currently at 42 subs the last time I checked, and we're trying to get to 50, which, again, the OG Soundcast here counts double, counts as two people. So if you want to get us there, it would only take 4 new OG Soundcast tier members. So you could be the person who makes us play Duke Nukem Forever, a game that seems despicable. Without further ado, let's discuss the playoffs. Should we start with the AFC?
Actually, I have 2 questions that I want to start off with for
Sure.
the cast here. So, first one, of the current, as of recording, 6 coaching vacancies in the NFL,
Mm-hmm.
which are the Jets, Saints, Bears, Jaguars, Patriots, and Raiders. Which of those teams would you want to be the head coach for?
Oh man, 1 second. Let me look at the draft order. Can you go over those teams again?
The New Jersey Jets, the New Orleans Saints, the
Mhm.
Bears, the Jacksonville Jags, the Boston Patriots, and the Las Vegas Raiders.
Okay, of
Hmm.
those, I think I would probably want to coach the Pats or the Jaguars.
I was about to say I'm leaning towards the Jaguars. You you have a terrible cap situation, but you still have Trevor Lawrence, which I think he can still be a decent quarterback. Raiders, you're going into a division with the Chiefs. Patriots, you're going into a division with Josh Allen. Bears, you're going into a division with Jordan Love and Sam Darnold. Jets again, Josh Allen and Saints. Well, uh, who wants to go to New Orleans?
New Orleans can be a fun city.
I don't think you want to coach that. So my thought process here, the reason why I said the Patriots or the Jaguars is the Patriots have a starting quarterback that I think is quite good. He
Hmm.
seems useful. Drake May seems like he could be a keeper. If they can get their line to not shambles, just not shambles, you might be able to turn things around pretty quickly. And I think they have a decent amount of cap space, so I think they could probably make a quicker turnaround than some of these other teams. The Jaguars are kind of in a similar position. Trevor Lawrence is not a great quarterback, but he's serviceable, and they do have Brian Thomas, who is an elite wide receiver, and a pretty solid set of running backs too. So I think that there's a world where those two teams make the turnaround, especially the Jaguars because their division's awful. Whereas I think that the Raiders are poorly coached, have bad ownership. Just nothing about that team is appealing to me. They don't have good skill position players either. The Jets are a nuclear waste site. They're a super fun site with no picks. They've got a 40-something-year-old quarterback. They have good wide receivers, but they're already asking for trades. Like, no, 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 thank you to that. The Saints, similar position. Like, they're a pretty toxic waste dump of quarterback and skill position players. And then the Bears, their line is not fixable in one season, I don't think. I think theirs is probably worse than the Patriots. I guess you could say that the Bears could turn it around quickly if they fix their line, like even quicker than the Patriots could. I just have more faith in the Patriots long term, I guess. And also, the Bears are in the hardest division in football, and so you're probably just going to get shellacked. Even if you turn it around, you're probably not making the playoffs soon. That sound fair?
Borgmaster, what were your thoughts on which team you would want to go to?
So I wouldn't want to coach the Pats or the Bears because those have newborn quarterbacks need to be raised and suckled, and I wouldn't know how to do that. Like I said, the Jets and Raiders are a wasteland. It's a post-apocalyptic Mad Max wasteland over there. The Saints, no. But the Jags, like, I want to know what I'm doing as a head coach, and I think that no one would notice at the Jaguars. So that's my pick. Also, probably the easiest team to embezzle from. So that's another plus.
These are hidden values of that team that I didn't even think of. So good on you for noticing that and that edge.
All right. So now that we have our answers there, my second question for the crew: if you were offered $1.5 million, would you be willing to sleep with Skip Bayless?
No.
Hard no on that.
Lizard Man Skip Bayless is a bridge too far.
Yeah, $1.5 million is not enough money for that. All right. So those are my two questions. Now on to the playoffs.
Thank goodness you're asking the hard-hitting questions. Going to the playoffs, we have just so everyone knows, the Chiefs have a bye. So they do not play. They will play the winner of Chargers Texans. So let's go there first. Chargers Texans. Who do we like? Chargers at Texans.
So I personally like the Chargers here over the Texans. The Texans have been falling off. Tank Dell, rest in peace to his knee. They're probably the least threatening playoff team of the 14 going in. So I can see the Chargers pretty easily knocking off the Texans at home.
I agree. I think the Texans have lost two of their three best wide receivers. They still have one, but is Nico Collins even healthy all the way? He was hurt
Is
in the
anyone
beginning of the year.
healthy other than Stroud on that team?
No. And their line is also banged up. They don't have anyone left. So I think that they're so depleted that the Chargers are hurt too, but they're just not as hurt. And their defense is still pretty intact. So yeah, I think Chargers. Tyler, did you have a conflicting opinion on this or?
I do not. To me, Chargers over Houston is the most likely upset of the weekend. Needless to say, CJ Stroud has thoroughly disappointed me this season. My expectations for him were pretty low, but he has managed to come in below that. In terms of EPA per play, I have him like the 31st ranked quarterback, below Caleb Williams and above Gardner Minshew. So
How
that
dare
just
you?
goes to show how much of a drop off he's had this season.
Yeah, and I mean, part of it also is that his skill position players are gone and his line fell apart too. So he's not exactly cooking with the best ingredients, but even without the best ingredients, he has not made a dish worthy of this council.
Yeah. Let's just say he has not been elevating the pieces that he does have. The elite talent in, this league has that ability to take a bunch of guys and make them play better than the sum of their parts. And I have just not seen that from CJ Stroud this season.
And that's fair, especially considering that the Chiefs are the number one seed, and I don't know that their wide receiver room is anything that impressive. But Patrick Mahomes manages to do stuff anyway.
Yep.
Okay, so the next game,
Oh, I
and we're not
actually
going in
wanted
order of
to.
games. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to also say that when you look at the betting markets for Super Bowl odds, the Chargers are being placed at much higher odds than the Texans. So even I guess the market is saying that the Chargers are going to upset the Texans
Yeah.
pretty easily.
Yeah. I'm seeing them at like -2.5 right now.
I think that's
So,
fair.
yeah.
I don't see any world where the Texans, even if they won, went on a miracle run. Like they're just too depleted. I can't see them rolling, double sixes over and over and over again. And
Yeah.
that's, I think, what it would take. It would take a lot of weird football stuff happening.
Yeah. I mean, the only advantage I see Houston having in this matchup is they're at home, and that's it.
Yep. Next game here, and we're not going in order of when the games are happening necessarily. I guess we are kind of. We've got
You are.
Broncos, Bills. That's where I was going to go next. Um,
Let's go Pittsburgh at Baltimore just
okay.
to stay with the theme of going in order of the games being played.
Okay. Steelers, Baltimore. What do we think?
The Steelers are frauds. Baltimore has it in the bag.
Okay, that's your opinion. Tyler, do you think that Mike Tomlin continues to get away with it?
I do not. Steelers have fallen off pretty hard, in my opinion. Kind of their streak of winning these ugly games by like a single score. I just don't think that's going to be enough to topple a team like Baltimore. Going back to my in-season model, it definitely thinks Pittsburgh's record is better than what it actually thinks it should have been. It thinks Pittsburgh is a 9-8 win team, which is a fringe wild card team, which is what the Pittsburgh Steelers are. It would take a meltdown from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry in order for Pittsburgh to win this game.
Wait, is Zay Flowers still on IR or has he been cleared?
I thought
Let me.
I'm not sure if he is hurt. While we're checking on that, it is fair to say the Steelers did beat the Ravens this season, at least
They
once.
did, but that was when their magic was still turned on. Isn't it a thing where Mike Tomlin turns into a pumpkin every offseason?
I don't think that's true. I mean, he's
Uh,
won a Super Bowl,
is it?
So
at least
Oh,
not
they
once.
have they have not won a playoff game, I believe it since 2016.
there
What
you
are
go.
years?
The magic goes away in the postseason. So
And Borgmaster, to answer your question, Baltimore last beat Pittsburgh in week 10 of the regular season, and even that was like an 18-16 win. So they
You mean
squeaked
you
that
mean
one.
Pittsburgh beat Baltimore?
Yes. Sorry. Thank you for the
yeah, and
correction,
that was
Gino.
a hideous game too. I
Yeah, it
remember it.
was. Steelers football, baby. Ugly. No one's scoring. Everyone's questioning why they're watching. Steelers football.
And to answer the question about Zay Flowers, it sounds like right now it's still up in the air.
Okay, so I agree with you that the Ravens are the better team. Right? I think we can all agree that they're the better team. But wouldn't it be funny if the Steelers won?
No,
Wouldn't we get a nice no? We wouldn't get a nice laugh out of that?
no.
Oh, I
You
don't
know,
know.
I'm gonna agree with you, Gino. I mean, this at the end of the day, it's a division rival game, and you just never know what you're gonna get with Russell Wilson. He has not looked very good over the past couple of weeks, but who knows? If you give up a couple of deep shots to him, he might be able to get them or keep them in this game.
Also, what if Justin Fields, Bears legend, Justin Fields, gets pulled off the bench again? He was pretty good.
Oh yeah, if they just keep switching between Wilson and Fields like every quarter, then that might
Yeah.
confuse Harbaugh enough that Steelers could get a win out. But then it'll be the Chiefs against the Steelers in the next round, right? And that's just the Christmas game all over again.
Not necessarily. So how the playoff brackets work is the top seed will always play the lowest seed. So
Yeah.
depending how the chips fall, um,
The Steelers will almost certainly be the lowest seed unless the Broncos beat the Bills.
So tell me, Tyler, are the Broncos beating the Bills?
no.
No, I
So
think
like
we
I
all can
said,
agree. We all have the Bills against the Broncos, I think. Bills at home.
the Broncos are just happy to be there. Seems like.
Happy to be there. Bo Nix is happy to have won some games. The Bills are a lot better. I mean, the Broncos do have the best defense in the NFL. So, like, that's something. Their offense is just so haphazard. Because Bo Nix, while he's better than expected, he is not amazing. And the Steelers have, what, the second or third best defense in the NFL. So it's two punchers chance teams in the 6 and 7 seeds. Just ugly the game up. I guess the question really is, what's the weather going to be?
Probably terrible everywhere in the country. The weather forecasting is to be believed.
Yeah. So I think right now for that Pittsburgh Baltimore game, it's going to be 31 degrees Fahrenheit with 7-mile-per-hour winds.
So
Be
no one's
snow?
getting field goals.
Yeah. I mean, both of these are cold weather teams.
But is there any snow expected or precipitation?
Uh, I
Because
would
if
have to
there's
change websites for that.
supposed to be rain or snow, I think that both of these games get a lot more interesting. And if there's
It seems like no for the Ravens Steelers game.
okay, then I'm going to take the Ravens. If there was snow, I could see the Steelers because passing will just be miserable. I could see a defensive slog. But yeah, if
Ooh, and the Broncos Bills game is going to be 29 degrees Fahrenheit.
yeah, and I'll take the Bills there. I don't think the weather would even have stopped the Bills, but I think that the weather could slow down the Ravens. So
Yeah.
there we go. There's our predictions. We've got Bills beating the Broncos, Ravens basically chalk except for the Chargers beating the Texans.
Yeah. I have a question for the both of you.
hmm
And so if you are Mike Tomlin, you realize the situation that you're facing a huge uphill battle. In order to give yourself every chance of winning this game, do you give the impression to the media all week long that Russell Wilson's going to be the starter, and then at the last minute you put in Justin Fields just to throw off Baltimore's defensive game plan?
I mean, has Tomlin been a trick coach in the past? Has he been a trickster?
Not generally speaking. I believe he's usually pretty straightforward as coaches
Yeah.
go.
I mean, if it was me,
Um,
yes, I'll be doing trick plays every play, I'll be switching quarterbacks like every drive. Yeah, I know. Like if it was me, full Joker card.
You're over here being a puckish rogue.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I would just be starting Justin Fields the whole time. I would have been starting him the whole time anyway, because I just don't really value an old mediocre quarterback, and I would have wanted to see Justin Fields' upside once he was playing well early in the season. I just think there's more there than with Russell Wilson. But then again, Mike Tomlin continues to be one of the best coaches in the NFL. So what the hell do I know? But I wouldn't be surprised if we saw something weird in a one-game win or go home situation. Okay, let's head over. Should we just go all the way to the Super Bowl with the AFC or pop over to the NFC?
We can stay with the AFC for now.
Okay, so
Yeah.
we've got Chiefs, Chargers. I assume we all have the Chiefs.
Yeah,
Then we have Ravens, Bills. I assume we all have the Bills.
probably. Yeah.
Uh, as the resident Bills fan, this is probably the matchup I least wanted going into the playoffs. And the
Would you
reason
rather have the
is even
Chargers?
though that, huh?
Would you rather have the Chargers than the Ravens?
Oh, I'd rather have the Chiefs than the Ravens.
Well, good for you. You'll get both if you win this one.
So are the Bills and Ravens just like mirror reflections of each other?
Not really. The Baltimore defense, I would say, is substantially better than Buffalo's defense. Well, not
I don't know
in
that it
terms of an
is.
EPA per play basis, but the Bills' defense has looked shaky this second half of the season, where Baltimore's defense has looked like it's been improving. Bills' greatest defensive weakness, Borgmaster, is our run defense, and particularly our interior defensive line. The guys that we have in those positions are, I would say, they're fair to poor, and that's putting it generously. And I can just see handing the ball off to Derrick Henry 30 times a game and just him alone beating us.
So because
Okay,
Derrick
so
Henry and Lamar Jackson are both running backs, basically, and the rush defense isn't great there. That's your worry.
Yeah. I mean, and when you have long sustained drives just by running the ball, you're keeping Josh Allen on the sideline. And in order for Josh to do his magic, he has to be on the field.
that's a controversial opinion. I'm glad you're brave enough to have it.
Yeah, well, I've followed this team long enough to I feel like I know the ins and out of it fairly well at this point.
Okay. So we think that Ravens then you're taking? It sounds like Tyler.
Uh, I'm gonna say Bills. Go Bills. We're playing at home. We beat Lamar Jackson at in Buffalo in the past, and we can do it again. It's our year. Buffalo all the way this time, baby.
Okay, and then we would have Chiefs Bills or Chiefs Ravens. It sounds like we're all on Bills, so
Which are postseason matchups that we see all the time. Yeah, the Chiefs usually play either the Ravens or the Bills or both to get to the Super Bowl, and
yep,
they keep getting away with it in the postseason.
they
So
do.
that has me concerned.
So do we think the Chiefs continue to keep getting away with it?
Seems like, I mean, against Josh and Lamar, they've been getting away with it in the postseason.
I know. So we think they do. Yes?
Yeah,
Say it.
yeah. The Chiefs are gonna win the AFC probably, and there'll be lamenting and gnashing of teeth.
And the entire way, they will not. I bet that they don't win like a single playoff game by more than a score or two. I don't
Almost
think they
certainly.
blow out anyone. I think they basically, by the skin of their teeth, make it all the way to the Super Bowl somehow.
So, just for the sake of discussion, I'm gonna point out some things about this Chiefs team. So, kind of looking at a 5 year a 5 year sample going back to 2020. This is the second worst offense in terms of EPA per play we're seeing from the Chiefs. The worst was actually the 2023 team. But that 2023 team by far had the best defense the Chiefs have fielded in the 5 years. So to me, this is not preordained. This Chiefs
No.
team has some weaknesses. The offense has not looked as dynamic as in years past. My in-season model thinks this Kansas City team has overperformed by 5 wins. The
Hmm.
last time that happened, that team got bounced in the divisional round.
Look, that is entirely fair. Everything about the actual on-field product that the Chiefs have put together says to me that this team is overrated and will get posed as frauds. But they keep getting away with it. And I keep going back to that at the end of the day as my main prior here. For whatever reason, and it's mostly because Patrick Mahomes is just better than all the other quarterbacks for the most part, they get away with skin of the teeth wins more than just about any other team. And for having the best quarterback in a close game usually is the outcome decider. And their defense is still quite good. Their
Yeah.
defense is still a top unit.
Yeah. But there's one team in the AFC East that's beaten Kansas City more than any other team, and that's the Buffalo Bills
in the regular season.
in the regular season.
Have they ever beaten them in the playoffs? Just a quick check.
They have not.
Oh, dang. But is this the playoffs when they're playing, though?
Oh
Would
no!
it be
In
the
the regular
playoffs?
season, when they meet, the Bills win more often than not. In the postseason, whenever they meet, the Chiefs always win.
Yeah, but this game, would it be in the playoffs?
I believe so.
Yeah,
Aw,
I
dang
believe
it.
that's what we are talking about. Yes.
That's a tough break.
But don't forget, when Chiefs beat Buffalo, it's not by multiple scores. It's like a field goal or like 4 points.
Yeah, like how the Chiefs win all of their games.
Hey, history is a fickle thing. Something is true until it's not. I mean, I keep coming back to Peyton Manning, first ballot Hall of Famer, did not win his first Super Bowl until year 10. Everybody knew Indianapolis could not be New England until it finally happened.
Well, I think with that, we will say that the Chiefs, it sounds like, are our pick for representing, except for Tyler, who's saying that the Bills will do it this year.
Buffalo all the way this time.
Is that the Chiefs or the Bills or the Chargers?
You think the Chargers have a chance?
I think that this year there is a chance of a LA on LA Super Bowl in capital L, capital A. And that would be the worst thing to ever happen. So I count it as a possibility.
Would it
Excellent.
though?
Okay.
I mean, it would be Justin Herbert versus Matthew Stafford in a dome.
There's too much
I
LA
hate that.
going on there. Because no matter what, LA would win, and we can't let LA win.
That's true. The NFC, we've got the bye belongs to the Detroit Lions, the fighting Detroit Lions. The first game we've got is the Packers versus the Eagles in the 7-2 matchup. Does anyone like the Packers
Yeah,
to beat the Eagles?
yeah. I don't believe in the Eagles because I don't believe in the Birds. I think they're on a downswing, and they're vulnerable.
Is Jalen Hurts playing?
That's what I'm trying to look up right now.
I tried to look up earlier. It's up in the air right now.
Yeah, if Jalen Hurts isn't playing, then I would take the Packers, but I don't know. He could play.
What about Saquon Barkley against that Packers defense?
He's very good. Might be able to win the game by himself, potentially.
Yeah, it's gonna be either Saquon wins it on his own, like he's just the only one on the field. It's like 1 versus 11, and he wins.
Kenny Pickett's hurt, right?
Yeah, oh yeah. So it would be the third guy. What's his name? The one with the best rookie performance of all time in a game.
It's like Tanner McGee?
Yeah, Tanner.
Trevor McGee?
Yeah, it's Tanner something.
Yeah, it sounds like a quarterback's name.
Yeah. So I mean, there is a possibility here that the Eagles are a non-functional offense if Jalen Hurts can't play. So that's definitely a threat. I'm gonna bet that Hurts plays and that the Eagles take it as a result.
Yeah, I mean
If
it's playoff
Hurts
time.
plays and he still hurts, then
Yes.
like if Hurts is playing through the hurt, then that would have a negative impact.
It would, but at least push would be back on the menu.
Yeah. So I'm looking at a few articles. Apparently, Jalen Hurts was back in practice today,
Okay. So
but he was limited.
if he plays, I think they've got a pretty good shot.
Yeah. I mean, he has to play, right? I mean, this is the playoffs.
I mean,
There's
it's a
no point
concussion. If he can't play, he can't play.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's why he's been out. Is he's had a concussion. So if he can't play, he can't play. But with 2 weeks of of recovery time. Or 3 weeks of recovery time, really. I think he'll probably be okay. Next up, we've got basically Jalen Hurts is in. We're all okay with Eagles. Is that what we're saying, or it sounds like Borgmaster, you might still like the Packers even if Hurts plays.
Yeah, I think I like the Packers more if Hurts plays because he might not be at 100%.
Okay, so we have 1 Packers, 2 Eagles.
Yeah, I'm going with the Eagles here. Packers just lost their that outstanding rookie wide receiver they have. I think his name is
Christian
Evan
Watson.
Williams. Yes,
Oh, right.
Christian Watson.
Well, he is a second or third year wide receiver, but he is hurt.
Oh,
He's
you're
constantly
right.
hurt. You might
Yeah,
have thought he's a rookie wide receiver because when Aaron Rodgers was throwing to him, he was quite good, and then he's been hurt basically the rest of his career.
yeah. I don't know. I think even if you take out Jalen Hurts, I think Philadelphia has enough to get them past Green Bay.
Okay, so we've got Commanders, Bucks. I like the Commanders here.
Everything I see has this as being like the most toss-up game in the wild card round. Both, like the betting markets, my own model, just the vibes. Like this, I have no idea who's going to win this.
Okay, Tyler, are you also a coward, or are you going to make a pick?
I'm gonna go with the Tampa Bay Bucks on this one. I think in terms of offense, they're fairly evenly matched. I think the defense, you have a slight favor to the Buccaneers, and it's at home. Plus, you have Baker Mayfield playing with a lot more experience than Jaden Daniels. Jaden has been impressive, but playoffs as a whole, another ball game. I think Tampa Bay squeaks by Washington at home in this matchup.
Wouldn't it be so fun if the Commanders made it into the divisional round? Wouldn't that be fun?
It'd be
It would.
fun, but I think it's more likely Tampa Bay. Borgmaster, how would you feel about a Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold QB draft class of 2018 matchup? That'd be fun.
Uh, would it?
I
Would that
think it
be
would.
fun?
Yeah,
Uh,
Baker Mayfield versus Sam Darnold.
Buccaneers versus the Vikings. That's I would
Gross.
not. Yeah, no, that's gross. No, ew, ew, ew.
I'm saying Commanders, so that doesn't happen.
Man, no Baker Mayfield love, huh?
So, as a lifelong Bears fan and as a lifelong not Falcons fan, I can't imagine a more cursed thing to watch than a Buccaneers Vikings playoff game.
See, now I really hope this happens just so we watch this game together at the bar and I can watch you squirm.
Oh, just watch me suffer and drink my problems away.
You got it.
Okay, so a normal Sunday evening. All right, yeah.
Okay, so we've got a split decision on Commanders, Bucks. Vikings, Rams. What do we like there? I mean, the Vikings have been the better team all year long, basically, but the Rams are mostly healthy now.
So, Grav, does your model still have the Vikings as fraudulent?
Uh, let me switch back to that tab to, let's see, Minnesota. So I have them as performing 3 games better than what Pythagorean wins would indicate. The model is thinking they were more like a 11-win team as opposed to 14.
What does it say about the Rams?
All right, LA Ram.
Winners of the most mediocre division in football.
Yep. So the model also thinks the Rams got lucky. So for those listening at home, Rams finished the regular season at 10-7. Pythagorean wins had them more around 8. So most years, 8 wins is not enough to get you into the playoff.
Sure ain't. I'll go Vikings here. I just don't see the Rams as especially threatening or especially well put together, but they could win. I mean, they've got enough offensive firepower to potentially do it. but I don't love their chances. That's for sure. Would not bet on their chances.
The Vikings have to collapse at some point. I've been waiting for it. It has to happen sometime.
Yeah.
So if they don't collapse here, they collapse in the next round.
If they don't collapse there, they collapse the round after that.
Yes. Wait, no. Wait.
Okay, so we are also split on Vikings Rams. It sounds like Borgmaster is mostly out of malice.
Yes. Choosing the Rams. And also, if the Rams win, then we get like a Lions Rams game, and those are fun. Those are fun games.
They are. So then the next round we would have. Well, now it's a complete scramble because we've all picked different things. I would say Eagles Commanders. I like the Eagles over the Commanders.
That'd also
Seen
be a
this
fun
game
game
already,
since they're divisional rivals.
and I would say between Vikings Lions, I would take the Lions, and then I would
Also
go
between
chalk.
Rams Lions, take the Lions. Between Eagles Bucks, take the Eagles. Between Packers Bucks or Packers Commanders, that'd also be a weird one.
Would I'm basically. I think the Lions. I think we get chalk. I think we get one seed in the Super Bowl. I think the Lions are actually a great team. The Chiefs just have a horseshoe permanently stuck in their butts. That's my prediction. Is just chalk. On the final outcomes here for the Super Bowl.
Yeah, it's most likely Lions Chiefs or Lions Bills, or if the Bills get there.
I think the Lions part is more permanent marker than the Chiefs.
Yes.
My one concern with Detroit, though, is the number of injuries they have on the defensive side of the ball.
It's bad.
It is bad, and I know last week they got by Minnesota, but in that game, Sam Darnold did not look all that impressive.
I can't believe it. I can't believe Sam Darnold didn't look that impressive.
So the Lions just need to score 40 or more points in every playoff game.
Well, that's my concern. If the Lions come up against Philadelphia and Jalen Hurts is back, I think Philadelphia has enough to get past Detroit.
If there is a Chiefs Eagles Super Bowl again, I'm not watching it.
I will join you, Adam, that night in doing something other than watching football. I
There
feel
you
the
go.
same way. But to me, KC Detroit just does not feel very likely to me.
Okay, so you think the Eagles?
I think we're going to see the Eagles come out of the NFC.
You would like Bills? You want two seed, Bills, Eagles.
My heart
Eagles matchup.
says two seed, but in reality, it's probably going to be Baltimore Philly, if I'm being intellectually honest.
Wait, so Ravens Eagles, a bird bowl.
Yep, a bird. We're going to get a bird bowl.
Ew.
A contest of
Running backs.
two.
Ooh, a running back on running back challenge. Like it's not score. It's just whichever running back gets most yards. That's the
Yeah,
team that wins. They should change the rules just for that.
no, but I think that would be a really good matchup. You have Derrick Henry versus Saquon, Lamar versus Jalen Hurts. To me, that matchup makes a lot of sense.
Okay, and those are our predictions. Any other closing thoughts on the season before we call it until the Super Bowl?
I had the preseason model make a bracket,
Mhm.
and for the wild card round, it has it has no upsets whatsoever in the wild card.
Cool.
It also has for the divisional round, the Chiefs beating the Texans, the Ravens beating the Bills, Lions beating the Rams, and Eagles beating the Bucks. So then the model then has the AFC Championship as Chiefs Ravens with the Chiefs winning, the NFC with Lions Eagles with the Lions winning, and then the Super Bowl, well, you'll find out later, but I think you can guess what the model thinks.
So, some thoughts on the season. I look at the New York Jets, and I think the takeaway there is don't go christening a team to win the division or make a Super Bowl run when there was absolutely no basis behind it. The hype train ran with that narrative and misled just about everyone on that. Miami's going to be a dumpster fire next year. They're probably going to be, if they get back to 8 wins, I will be impressed. And Cincinnati was was a little bit of a disappointment. They kind of started out the season slow, and then they didn't get hot until the second half. Went on an incredible run, won 6 games at the end of the season, but that wasn't enough. They needed a little bit of luck to get them in the playoffs, and it just did not happen.
And that team is just 2 guys on offense anyway, so
Yeah, and one guy on defense, he was like a sack leader or something. I was reading. So it was 3 guys and nobody else.
And isn't that admirable in a way?
I mean, it
Yeah.
makes them easy to root for. I
Yeah.
will save all my season takes for our post Super Bowl live mega show that we do.
Oh, of course, our annual live mega show.
Yes, our 2.5 hour long live post Super Bowl recording we do. I will save all my opinions for then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So obviously my team is still in the playoffs, but I think because we have a little bit of time left, I think you both should speak about the Bears and the New York Giants and what your hopes are in the offseason.
Okay. For the Giants, I don't. I think I would be okay with them not getting a quarterback because right now mock drafts are projecting that the top 2 quarterbacks, Cam Ward and Shedeur Sanders, are going 1-2, and the Giants will have the 3rd pick. But if the Giants get Travis Hunter, that would be awesome. That would be so much fun. Having a dude who's either your number 1 wide receiver or your number 1 cornerback, or maybe both, depending on which position you decide will be his dominant position. Like that's just so fun. And then, just try to sign some sort of mediocre quarterback to get you through a year as you rebuild. That would be my hope. Like I don't know which mediocre quarterback that would be. Please God, not Derek Carr.
Aaron Rodgers to the New York Giants.
Not Aaron Rod. Nope. Colin Kaepernick before you get Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, I don't
Russell
know who
Wilson
that.
to the Giants.
I mean, honestly,
Ooh.
or Justin Fields. I would take either one. The one they
Kirk
don't
Cousins.
want. I would not take Kirk Cousins. No, 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 no. Statue Kirk Cousins. No, no, no. That would be awful. Give me some other quarterback that people have given up on.
How about Jameis Winston or Joe Flacco?
No to Joe Flacco. Jameis Winston would be fun. That would be fun. They'd be a bad team, but that'd be entertaining at least. And Jameis would have more wide receivers who could just chuck jump balls to, with Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter. That would be fun. But yeah, like give me some sort of journeyman for a year.
Okay, but would you be willing to outbid Minnesota for Sam Darnold?
No, I would not. I would not outbid anyone for anyone. I would pay a dime store rate for a mediocre quarterback, and then I would draft one next year.
Ooh.
Or like
What
draft
about-
one in the 2nd or 3rd round,
Ooh.
and then chill.
So Gardner Minshew might be available.
No.
No.
So, Gino, serious thought. What if you trade that first overall pick to Minnesota for JJ McCarthy?
No.
Because no,
No, I want Travis Hunter.
You rather have a two-way player than a first-round talent quarterback.
Yes, because I don't know that he's good. Like Sam Darnold has continued to play over him. I don't know that he's better. And we've taken quarterbacks. Quarterbacks get taken in the 1st round. Like every quarterback was a 1st-round talent quarterback.
What if you gave up a 2nd or a 3rd for him?
That I would do. I would do a 2nd or a 3rd. I would not give up a high pick for him. Marcus Mariota's still around. He's a 1st-round talent quarterback.
Would you want the Red Ryder BB gun himself?
No,
Dalton?
I would not. I would not want Andy Dalton. There's got to be a more inspiring retread Justin Fields. Like, give me Justin Fields. That's who I want. Or someone of that caliber. Like, someone else who's been abandoned. Like, give me Trey Lance. That is my
Or
take. Howard the Bears.
Da Bears. Or say, da Bears. So the Bears need a new coach. They should need a new GM. They should need a new owner as well. Clear out the entire front office. Clear out the coaching staff. Because they have the offensive skill position players they need. They have the defense players they need. They need an O line, but you can build an O line. Surely you must be able in draft or free agency to build an O line. You would think. But the problem is coming from inside the house. That's where it is, and until that rot is cleared out, they're not going to go anywhere. That's the Bears.
so
That's a fair take.
Chicago's drafting number 10 overall. Where would you like to see them to start? What position would you like them to take?
Offensive line, right?
Yeah, like
Come on.
I mean, but do you draft a center at 10th pick? Like
Maybe a tackle.
maybe a
I
tackle?
mean, you would want it to be a tackle, but look, you take if there's an elite
They do need
offensive
a center.
lineman at any position, you take them. I don't care which one. You take whichever best, most elite offensive lineman you have, and you start there, and then you hope in the next year or two you can get another guy or two. But taking a left tackle just because they're the best left tackle left on the board doesn't usually work out. And you can't just always take left tackles.
I mean, yeah, I mean, sell the team and rebuild. That's what I'm saying.
I mean, that would be the best option for them, but that doesn't seem to be where they're going, unfortunately. They can't get relegated to NFL Europe, unfortunately. Wouldn't that solve everything?
I mean, if you're going to put a NFL team down to like whatever the AA equivalent is, it would be the Jaguars before the Bears.
No, it would be the Panthers before anyone.
Hey, the Panthers won a few games this year.
I mean, so I'm looking at the records right now. We had 10 teams win 5 or less games.
Yeah.
To me, that's almost unprecedented. I mean,
It's pretty hard to be
that's
that
really bad. That's
bad.
really, really bad.
Yeah, like the Titans and Browns are both sitting at 3 wins. The Giants at 3 wins. You know, I mean, the Bears and the Panthers are both at 5 wins. You know, so I wouldn't, relegate them first.
Yeah. So Borgmaster, you have a vacant head coaching spot. Who do you want leading the 2025 Chicago Bears?
So not a charismatic psychopath because you need that for an established QB to like get them, pumped up. You need someone who can raise a child.
Okay.
I'm not. Yeah, I mean, if you want just like actual who's the best on the market, like everyone's talking about Ben Johnson. That's his name, right? Ben Johnson.
Yep.
The Lions. Yeah, that would be a good get. But anyone who isn't like a bottom of the barrel head coach, any head coach that knows how to manage a game clock would be good. Any head coach who won't immediately lose a locker room would be good.
All right. Well, I think that covers our latest episode of Amateur Hour. So, and any final thoughts?
Go Bills.
Go Bills, Buffalo all the way this time. I'm certain this off season won't end with me being in a miserable depression and me listening to Sleeping in the Fire by Rage Against the Machine for 3 days straight.
Go Lions! Rawr.
Also, I'm going to clip out that roar you did for ZP.
I knew you would. I did it for you. You're welcome.
Oh, it's not for me.
If you want to get in touch with the show, you can do so deeplistens.libsyn.com. We have our comment sections and deeplistenspodcast@gmail.com. And you can support the show on patreon.com/deeplistens. Thank you, Borgmaster.
No, thank you.
Thank you, Tyler.
Always a pleasure, Gino.
And thank you, dear listeners. Till next time, peace. And there we go. We got in under the wire there.